Hi everybody, and welcome back to Quick and Healthy with Mr. G. Tonight for dinner, we're going to be making a low-carb rotini that'll be coated with a fresh pesto sauce. Now the pesto sauce features fresh basil that I just got done picking out in my garden, some fresh tomatoes here. These are orange cherry tomatoes. We've also got a little bit of fresh parsley that I just got done picking. A nice big fresh clove, or several cloves actually, of garlic there, a nice bulb of garlic I'll be taking some cloves out of, and a nice fresh green pepper that was also just picked. Some walnuts and some fresh shrimp. Actually this isn't fresh, it's frozen shrimp, however it was frozen when it was fresh, I'm sure. We'll also need some grated Parmesan cheese. Now you might want to use fresh Parmesan cheese, I would prefer that, but I don't happen to have any lying around, so we're going to use some previously grated Parmesan cheese here. So, let's get started by cutting up our pepper, taking and washing and separating the leaves here on our basil. And you can use the basil tops too, where it flowers and the little seed pods. Those actually just come off almost like a zip cord, and you can use those little seed pods in your dish as well. Now this has already been washed, so I can go ahead and place these seed pods right there in my casserole dish. So, let's get started. You're also going to need a food processor of some sort to do this up properly. And I'm just using my small food processor here, the same one that you've seen me make other things with, including my extremely hot salsa. Which, by the way, I made some other salsa, which is even hotter than the first batch that you saw me make. It's so hot, in fact, that I have trouble eating it. It's incredible. This is Dreamfield's pasta. It's a very low carb, only 5 grams of digestible carbs per serving, and it's fairly high in fiber as well. It's got 5 grams of fiber per serving, and the nuts will add some fiber to this, and some omegas as well, omega-3s and some omega-6s with our grapeseed oil and our walnuts. So let's get started. Okay, our basil and our pepper here are both washed, so I'm going to go ahead and cut our pepper. I'm just going to cut it into strips like this, around the core, the seed core that's in there. And once I have that all cut, we'll throw away the seeds and the core. And these don't have to be that small because they're going to go into my food processor. I don't want a lot of pepper. I'm probably going to use about half of this pepper. And we'll go with a smaller chunk here inside of the food processor. Like that. Set this aside. We're also going to need a garlic press. Let me pull mine out of the drawer over here. This is a garlic press. We're going to take our garlic. We're going to separate some of those cloves of garlic here, just like this. And we're going to pull the skin off of that garlic, like so that you're left with a nice white clove of garlic here that'll look something, no skin on it. You might want to take and cut off the real dry end there, if there's an end on it that's dry. Take all the skin off the garlic, and take your garlic, place it into your garlic press, like that, and then just press it right down in. Oops, almost put it in the wrong place. Press it right down in to your food processor here. There we go. You don't have to actually press the garlic either. You can actually just put the whole clove in the food processor, and I'm just showing you how a garlic press works. Then if you reverse it, you get the garlic piece that's left in there out. There we go. Just about. Use my knife here to push that out. There we go. Now I'm just going to take 1 clove of garlic and do it that way, and then we're just going to show you a whole clove of garlic that I can just throw right into the food processor. These are really large cloves of garlic here. Real nice. Real nice fresh garlic. Came out of the garden here. And I'll put another whole clove in there. We're going to add some walnuts to this. What I've got here is about a half a cup of walnuts. And now, I've got a whole bunch of fresh basil here. I told you before that you could take those tops and actually just put them right down in here for now. And the leaves are what we really want here. I'm going to take these leaves, make sure that they're clean. I've previously washed this. And if there's any bad spots, get rid of those. And we're going to take these leaves and push those down here into our food processor. Okay, Now, if some of the leaves that you're pulling off basically come off with the stems, don't worry about the little stems that are with the leaves, those are fine. What you really don't want is you don't want the big woody stem in the middle here. So those stems that are real woody, just leave those alone. Now, this is getting real full real quick here, and I can kind of compress that a little bit. We're also then going to take some of our olive oil here, and we're going to want to pour in probably about an 1/8 cup of olive oil right into our food processor here like that with those leaves and those peppers and those walnuts. Now I'm going to also take and I'm going to add some freshly grated Parmesan cheese on this. How much am I putting in there? That's probably about 2 to 3 tablespoons. That's probably about 2 tablespoons. Now I'm going to go ahead and shut this. I'm going to take it over here to a plug and I'm going to blend this together. That'll reduce the amount that's in here down much lower. Then I'm going to continue to add more and more and more leaves of our basil. And then you'll see how this comes out in the end. So let me go ahead and what I'm going to do is continue to add basil leaves and continue to reduce that down until it's just a nice creamy sauce with some ground up basil in it. We'll add the rest of our walnuts and probably a little bit more Parmesan cheese and a couple more cloves of garlic. I'll show you how this all looks blended together in just a minute. Okay, I've got a couple different kinds of basil here as well. This is the really large leaf Italian basil, and that's excellent for pesto sauce. What we've got here is we've got what's called Siam basil, and this is a red leaf basil, and it's a little stronger. Just dropping some leaves there as well. This is what I've been adding over here, over on the side here, to our food processor. And I'm also going to add a couple of leaves or a couple sprigs of some large leaf Italian parsley. So I'm going to continue to add and blend, and I'll show you the final result. Okay, our pesto sauce, at least my pesto sauce, has also come out rather thick. Now I don't want to add too much of the grapeseed oil because that would just make too much fat really. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one of these tomatoes that's dripping out of my fingers here. It's very juicy. This is a green zebra or a striped zebra style tomato. And by adding this, it'll add liquid to the pesto sauce and make it not so thick. Okay, our pesto sauce looks just fantastic. We've already got our noodles completely drained. They've been boiled, now they're drained. I'm going to add those. That's just about a box full of those Dreamfield rotini noodles. Now we're going to blend that together. We'll see if we need to add any more pesto. How much pesto did I make? Well, I made about 2 full containers that are on my food processor there, so I would say probably about maybe a quart of pesto, maybe not quite a quart. I'm not real sure. Probably about 3 cups. We're going to go ahead and add our shrimp now, which I've taken the tails off of. All I did was run that under cold water to thaw it, and then just pull the tails off of it. Now I've got about a ½ pound of shrimp there. I've got just about 1 full box of noodles, and I would say I probably have about maybe about 3/4 cup of our pesto is what I ended up using here. Boy, that's beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So once this is all stirred up here, what we're going to do, looks beautiful, doesn't it? We're going to add now, nothing on top, well yeah, actually we are, I'm sorry. We're going to add cherry tomatoes on top of that, just dotted on top. As you see here, whole cherry tomatoes. The orange ones make a real pretty look to it. And add some of those just dotted around there. There we go. That's good enough. Now we've got our cherry tomatoes on top. Spread those out evenly. We're going to go ahead and put the lid on this. We're going to cook it covered in a 350-degree oven just until it's completely warm. How long is that? Probably about 15, maybe 20 minutes at tops. Probably about 15 minutes at most, I would think. If your oven's still preheating like mine is, it might go a little longer than 15 minutes, but you do not want to overcook it. You don't want this to cook, you just want it to heat thoroughly. Because the pesto's cold, the shrimp is cold, the noodles are the only thing hot here, so we want to heat it thoroughly. And as soon as we take that out of the oven, it's ready to serve. Let's take one more look at that. And I'm going to pop it into the oven. Okay, I told you that you could freeze your pesto sauce too. Here I've got it in a freezer bag ready to go into the freezer. And this will make probably 2 more meals out of this 1 bag of pesto here. Really nice looking pesto sauce. Here's a little suggestion for a side dish to go along with your pasta. Just take a low fat, high fiber wrap. This happens to be a La Tortilla Factory Smart and Delicious Soft Wrap. It's got 12 grams of fiber. This is a tomato basil wrap. And just add some fat-free feta cheese crumbles. If you can find fat-free or low-fat. Low-fat's fine, fat-free's fine. Don't add too much, just some right, all spread it around there. And then just take it and just roll this up, just like you would a burrito. And just roll it up. And just place that in the oven or microwave. If you put it in the oven, put it in tin foil. Place these in the oven or microwave. The microwave for about 30 seconds, just till they're very warm. Put them in the oven for about 5 minutes in tin foil, and you've got yourself a real nice side to go along with that pasta. Instead of a heavy bread, something that's not real great for you, some bread, this is actually very good for you with a lot of fiber and a lot of nutrition just packed right in there. There you've got the finished dish. We've got our pasta with our pesto sauce that's homemade. We've got cherry tomatoes in that, as well as some fresh shrimp. Over here we've got our high fiber wrap with feta cheese, or actually fat-free feta cheese in this case, in the middle. And I've garnished it with a nice sprig of curly leafed parsley that I just got done picking just seconds before shooting this, actually, out of my herb garden in the front of my house here. So I hope everybody enjoys this, and I'd like to urge you all to also visit www.mrgme, that's MRGME.com, and www.mindlessmirth, that's MINDLESSMIRTH.com. Both those sites, the Mr. G site, I'm thinking about putting some recipes up on there in the near future here, so check that out. And the Mindless Mirth site is just kind of a bunch of nonsense. There's some serious stuff there, but most of it's just there to make you laugh or make you think. So I'm Mr. G. Thanks for watching Quick and Healthy with Mr. G.